In the heart of Toronto, Peter Thornton sat in his modest apartment, reading a holographic message from an alien executor. "Peter," the voice echoed softly, "you have inherited Zax's entire estate on Thrixia, including his wife." Peter leaned back, his mind racing. Zax had been his friend for years, a diplomat from the distant planet of Thrixia. The two had shared countless conversations about their respective worlds, but this development was beyond anything Peter could have anticipated. The message continued, detailing the vast wealth and responsibilities now bestowed upon him. Peter's initial excitement quickly gave way to a profound sense of confusion and moral quandary. The idea of inheriting a living being, especially Zax's wife, Relara, felt archaic and wrong. Yet, curiosity and loyalty to Zax propelled Peter to accept the invitation. He booked a transport to Thrixia, a planet he had only heard about through tales and holograms. As he embarked on this journey, he couldn't shake the feeling that Zax had left him more than just material wealth. Perhaps a deeper mystery awaited. Upon arrival, Thrixia was everything Zax had described and more. The cityscape was a mesmerizing blend of organic structures and advanced technology. Peter stepped off the transport, and was immediately greeted by a tall, graceful woman with deep violet eyes and silvery hair. Relara, Zax's widow, stood before him. "Welcome, Peter," she said, her voice carrying a melodic quality. "I understand this must be overwhelming for you." Peter nodded, unsure of how to respond. "It's a lot to take in," he admitted. "I came because, well, Zax was my friend. I need to understand why he chose me for this." Relara led Peter to Zax's estate, a sprawling residence filled with artifacts from across the galaxy. As they walked, she explained the Thrixian customs and the significance of the inheritance. "Zax believed in you," she said. "He saw something in you that he trusted implicitly." Peter appreciated her candor but couldn't help feeling a disconnect. He wondered if he would ever truly understand this alien world and its customs. That evening, as he settled into his new quarters, he found himself drawn to Zax's study. It was filled with books, holographic records, and personal notes. While exploring the study, Peter stumbled upon a hidden compartment. Inside, he discovered a series of encrypted messages. Curious and somewhat apprehensive, he activated one. To his shock, Zax's voice emerged from the device. "Peter, if you're hearing this, it means I am no longer alive. There are forces at play that led to my demise. Trust no one, not even those who seem closest to you." The weight of Zax's words hit Peter hard. It seemed his friend had not died of natural causes as he had been led to believe. He felt a surge of determination to uncover the truth behind Zax's death. He knew he couldn't do it alone, and turned to Relara for help. She listened intently as Peter shared the message. Her expression shifted from sorrow to resolve. "Zax was involved in many delicate affairs," she said. "If he suspected foul play, then we must tread carefully. There are those in power who will do anything to protect their interests." Peter and Relara spent the following days deciphering the rest of Zax's messages. They painted a picture of a corrupt government faction intent on maintaining control through any means necessary. As they delved deeper, Peter realized the depth of his friend's bravery and the perilous journey that lay ahead. Through their investigation, Peter and Relara grew closer, their bond forged by a mutual desire to honor Zax's legacy. They faced numerous challenges, from navigating Thrixian politics to evading those who sought to silence them. One evening, while sifting through Zax's notes, they uncovered evidence pointing to a high-ranking official named General Torthan. Zax had suspected Torthan of orchestrating several covert operations against those who opposed his rule. As they pieced together the puzzle, Peter and Relara knew they had to act. The truth needed to be revealed, and Zax's death avenged. With newfound determination, they prepared to confront the forces that threatened Thrixia's future. Peter awoke to the sight of Thrixia's vibrant sunrise filtering through the alien architecture of Zax's estate. The morning light painted the room in hues he had never seen on Earth, and for a moment, he marveled at the beauty of this world. Relara stood at the balcony, her silhouette framed by the stunning view. "Good morning," she greeted him with a gentle smile. I thought we could start your orientation to Thrixia today. There is much you need to understand if you are to navigate our society successfully. Peter nodded, appreciating her directness. I could use all the help I can get, he admitted, joining her outside. The air was crisp and filled with unfamiliar scents, adding to his sense of being in a place both wondrous and daunting. Relara began by explaining the intricate social structures and customs of Thrixia. Our society values balance and harmony, Peter. Every action has a purpose, and every individual understands their role. It's a delicate system that maintains peace but can also be rigid. As Peter absorbed her words, he couldn't help but notice the way Relara spoke about her people with both pride and a hint of sadness. He realized that, much like himself, she was grappling with the recent upheavals in her life. Their shared loss of Zax was a silent bond between them. Their discussion was interrupted by a visit from General Thorthan, a figure Peter had heard about from Zax's hidden messages. The general was a towering Thrixian with an air of authority that made Peter uneasy. Welcome to Thrixia, Mr. Thornton, Thorthan said with a formal nod. I trust Relara is helping you acclimate. Peter managed a polite smile. She has been very helpful, thank you. Thorthan's gaze shifted to Relara. I must speak with you regarding urgent council matters, he said, his tone leaving no room for refusal. Peter watched as Relara and Thorthan stepped aside for a private conversation. He felt a pang of frustration at being left out, a reminder of how alien this world was to him. Yet he knew he had to earn his place and their trust. Later, Relara returned, her expression carefully neutral. The general is concerned about your presence here, she explained. He fears it might destabilize the delicate political balance. Peter frowned. Is that why Zax kept his suspicions hidden? To protect me from these politics? Relara sighed. Partly. Zax was always protective of you. He saw potential in your perspective, something our society desperately needs but might not readily accept. Determined to prove himself, Peter threw himself into learning everything he could about Thrixian culture. He and Relara spent hours in the library, going through ancient texts and modern treatises alike. With each passing day, Peter grew more adept at understanding the complex dynamics at play. One evening, as they pored over yet another tome, Peter stumbled upon a mention of a secret society within Thrixia, one that opposed the current regime. Relara, look at this, he said, pointing to the passage. This group might have been what Zax was trying to tell us about. Relara leaned in, her eyes widening as she read. The Guardians of Thrixia, they believe in reform and transparency. Zax was likely involved with them. Their discovery renewed their determination. With newfound clarity, they decided to seek out the Guardians, hoping to ally with them in their quest for justice. Their search led them to the outskirts of the city, where they found a hidden entrance to an underground meeting place. As they descended into the dimly lit chamber, Peter felt a surge of anticipation. The room was filled with Thrixians of various ages, all sharing a common look of resolve. A tall figure stepped forward, introducing herself as Kayla, the leader of the Guardians. You must be Peter Thornton, she said, extending her hand. Zax spoke highly of you. Peter shook her hand, feeling a sense of validation. I want to honor Zax's legacy and help uncover the truth about his death, he said firmly. Kayla nodded. Then you are among friends. Together, we can expose the corruption and bring about the change Zax dreamed of. Their alliance with the Guardians marked a significant turning point. Peter and Relara now had allies who shared their goals and could provide the support they needed. As they planned their next steps, the gravity of their mission became clear. The challenges ahead were formidable, but Peter felt a newfound sense of purpose. That night, as Peter and Relara returned to the estate, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the cusp of something monumental. The path before them was uncertain, but they were no longer alone. With allies by their side and the memory of Zax guiding them, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. Peter and Relara followed Kayla down the narrow passage, the air thick with anticipation. The hidden base of the Guardians buzzed with quiet activity, a stark contrast to the opulent surroundings of Zax's estate. As they entered the main chamber, the gathered members turned their attention to the newcomers. "Welcome," Kayla said, addressing the group. "This is Peter Thornton, the one Zack's entrusted with his secrets. And this is Relara, who needs no introduction." Peter felt the weight of their gazes, a mix of curiosity and hope. He took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Thank you for welcoming us. Zax was my friend, and I want to help continue his work. We need to uncover the truth about his death and the corruption within the council." A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd. Kayla nodded approvingly. "We have long suspected General Thorthan of manipulating the council for his gain. Zax was gathering evidence before he was silenced. With your help, we can finish what he started." Relara spoke next, her voice steady and confident. "We must act swiftly. The council's next meeting is in 2 days. If we can present irrefutable evidence, we might turn the tide." Kayla led Peter and Relara to a secluded corner where they could discuss their plan in detail. "We have agents within the council who can help us," she explained. "But getting the evidence will be risky. Thorthan's forces are always on high alert." Peter nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. "We need to be strategic. If we can access Zax's private files, we might find the proof we need. He mentioned a secure location in his messages." Relara's eyes brightened with recognition. "I know where that is. Zax had a hidden vault beneath his study. We can access it through a biometric scan." Kayla placed a reassuring hand on Peter's shoulder. "You two get the evidence. I'll coordinate with our agents to prepare for the council meeting. We'll need to be in sync to pull this off." Peter and Relara returned to the estate under the cover of night. The journey felt more perilous than ever, each shadow a potential threat. Once inside, they made their way to Zax's study. The hidden compartment they had discovered earlier now seemed like a gateway to both answers and danger. Relara activated the biometric scanner, and the vault door slid open with a quiet hiss. Inside, they found a trove of documents, data crystals, and holographic recordings. Peter sifted through the information, his heart pounding with every revelation. "Zax was meticulous," Peter said, handing a data crystal to Relara. "He recorded everything, meetings, transactions, even private conversations. This is the evidence we need." Relara nodded, her expression one of determined resolve. "Let's get this to Kayla. We don't have much time." As they exited the vault, they heard a noise from the hallway. Peter motioned for silence, his senses heightened. Footsteps approached, and the door to the study creaked open. General Thorthan stood there, flanked by his guards. "Going somewhere?" Thorthan's voice dripped with menace. "I suspected you might try something foolish." Peter and Relara exchanged a glance. There was no way to escape without a confrontation. Relara stepped forward, her demeanor unyielding. "We know what you did, Thorthan. Zax recorded everything. The council will hear the truth." Thorthan's eyes narrowed. "Do you think the council will believe the word of an alien and an outsider? Hand over the evidence, and I might spare your lives." Peter's mind raced. They couldn't afford to lose the evidence now. With a swift motion, he activated a small device Zax had given him, a holographic decoy. The room filled with multiple projections of Peter and Relara, confusing the guards. "Run!" Peter shouted, grabbing Relara's hand. They dashed through the study, the decoys buying them precious seconds. They navigated the corridors, narrowly avoiding Thorthan's men. Breathless, they reached the rendezvous point where Kayla and a group of guardians waited. "Did you get it?" Kayla asked urgently. Peter handed over the data crystals. "We have everything. Thorthan confronted us, but we managed to escape." Kayla's eyes shone with determination. "We need to move quickly. The council meeting is our best chance to expose Thorthan. Let's make sure Zax's sacrifice wasn't in vain." As they prepared for the final showdown, Peter felt a mix of fear and resolve. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but with allies like Relara and Kayla, he believed they could succeed. The truth was within their grasp, and they were ready to fight for it. The council chamber was a grand amphitheater, its architecture a testament to Thrixian elegance and technological prowess. Peter, Relara, and Kayla made their way to the center, carrying the evidence that would expose General Thornton's machinations. As they approached, the council members turned their attention to the unexpected arrivals. Kayla spoke first, her voice clear and authoritative. Honored members of the council, we bring grave news and irrefutable proof of corruption within our ranks. General Thornton has betrayed the trust of Thia and conspired against us all. A murmur spread through the chamber as the council members exchanged anxious glances. General Thornton, seated at a prominent position, remained stoic, his eyes narrowing as he studied the intruders. Peter stepped forward, holding up the data crystals. These contain recordings and documents that Sachs compiled before his untimely death. They reveal the extent of Thornton's treachery. The head counselor, an elderly Thian with piercing blue eyes, motioned for the evidence to be presented. Show us, she commanded. Relara activated the crystals, projecting holographic images and audio files into the air. The chamber fell silent as the recordings played, detailing secret meetings, financial transactions, and explicit orders given by Thornton to eliminate those who opposed him. The evidence was damning, leaving no room for doubt. As the final recording ended, the head counselor turned to Thornton, her expression one of disappointment and anger. General Thornton, do you deny these accusations? Thornton stood, his demeanor cold and unyielding. This is a baseless attack orchestrated by those who wish to see me fall. They have no proof that these recordings are genuine. Kayla stepped forward, her eyes locked on Thornton. We anticipated your denial. Each recording is verified with Sachs's unique encryption signature, which only he and the council possess. The evidence is irrefutable. The head counselor nodded, turning her gaze back to Thornton. General, you have betrayed our trust and endangered Thia. You are hereby stripped of your rank and will face trial for your crimes. Before anyone could react, Thornton lunged forward, pulling a concealed weapon. Chaos erupted as he aimed at Peter, a look of rage contorting his features. Relara moved with lightning speed, intercepting Thornton and disarming him in a swift, fluid motion. The guards quickly subdued Thornton, his defiant shouts echoing through the chamber. The head counselor regained control, her voice steady. Take him away. Ensure he is held in the highest security. As the guards dragged Thornton out, the council members began to discuss the implications of the revelations. Peter, Relara, and Kayla were approached by the head counselor. You have done a great service to Thia, she said. Your bravery and determination have saved us from a grave threat. Sachs would be proud. Peter felt a mixture of relief and exhaustion. Sachs believed in Thia's future. We only did what was right. Relara, standing beside him, nodded. We must now focus on rebuilding and ensuring such corruption never takes root again. Kayla added. The Guardians will assist in any way we can. Together, we can create a more transparent and just society. As the council meeting adjourned, Peter and Relara found a moment of quiet. They stood on a balcony overlooking the city, the weight of recent events settling in. The sky was painted with vibrant hues as the sun set, casting a serene glow over Thia. We did it, Peter said softly, his voice tinged with both triumph and melancholy. Relara turned to him, her eyes reflecting the same mix of emotions. Yes, but there's still much work to be done. Thia needs to heal, and we must ensure Sachs's vision is realized. Peter nodded, feeling a deep connection to this world and its people. I'm not going anywhere. This has become my fight too. Relara smiled, a genuine warmth in her expression. Together, we can make a difference. As they stood there, side by side, the future of Thia seemed brighter. The challenges ahead were numerous, but with allies like Kayla and the support of the council, they had a real chance at forging a better path. The journey had been arduous, but it had led them to this moment of hope and determination. In the distance, the lights of the city began to twinkle, a reminder of the lives they had fought to protect. Peter and Relara knew their work was far from over, but for the first time in a long while, they allowed themselves a moment of peace, confident in their shared purpose and the strength they had found in each other.